Hello there guys, it's Joey and welcome back to I Can't Witch Without, the series in which every week, hopefully, I take a look at a different item, be it herb, plant, flower, root, crystal or anything really, that makes up a regular part of my witchcraft practice. So this week we're going to be looking at elder. And we're looking at elder because the Ogham month, the Celtic Ogham month ascribed to elder, starts tomorrow. And I thought we would take a look at this incredible energy, this incredible, I guess you call it more of a shrub than a tree. It counts towards the tree, but you tend to find people calling it a shrub rather than a tree, but I think that's just one of those things, it's just one of those preferences. So, just the disclaimer at the start of the video, as always, this is not a series to say that you require any or all of the items in order to be a witch. It's just taking a look at different energies, and we have two books that are generally used as our jumping off point, that being the Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs and the Compendium of Herbal Magic by Paul Beryl. These two are resources that you can get a hold of if you so wish, and provide a good place to sort of give generalised meanings and give a bouncing off point for discussion from. I think it gives it a bit of structure. It means that if you want to go get those resources, they're quite easily accessible and they're not too expensive, either of those books. So, additionally, apologies for the lack of the videos on the witchcraft side of things for the last week or so. There's been a lot going on. Some of it is private and personal and I have no wish to discuss it, but it's there and has needed dealing with. Some people know, there's some things that nobody knows, and that's as far as I'm going to discuss it on this channel, but it's just, please bear with me, things are going on, and it's been kind of busy at this time of the year for the store as well, so that has been the priority. So apologies for the not lack of content, but just not the overabundance of content with regards to witchcraft recently. I felt that I needed a period of just rest and recuperation, so that's what I did. Don't need to make a big deal out of it, just to state that's what's going on. Okay, so elder is an interesting Ogham, and you tend to find that you will get meanings for the berries and the leaves and the tree quite separately. I believe that it's just elder for Cunningham's book. I'll just take a quick, yeah, right. So the attributes are feminine, Venus, water, sacred to Holder and Venus, powers of exorcism, protection, healing, prosperity and sleep. Ritual uses. The elder was used in Oh, that's a good start. I'm reading the wrong line. Sorry. The elder was used in burial rites in ancient British long barrows. It is sacred to many mother goddess figures due to its white flowers. Witches and spirits were thought to live within the elder. This is why it bled red sap when cut. Before felling an elder, the following formula was recited. Lady Elhorn, give me of thy wood, and I will give thee of mine when I become a tree. This is recited kneeling before the tree prior to making the first cut, which allows the spirit or witch within the tree time to vacate. Magical uses. If one elder wards off attackers of all kinds, hung over doorways and windowsills, it keeps evil from a house. It also has the power to force an evil magician to release any enchantments or spells they may cast against you. The berries, when carried, protect against evil and negativity. Grown in the garden, elder protects the house against the ravages of sorcery, and it shields from lightning. To bless a person, place, or thing, scatter the leaves and berries of the elder to the four winds in the name of the person or object to be blessed. Then scatter some more of the elder over the person or object itself, and it is done. To lose a fever, poke an elder twig into the ground while keeping completely silent. Toothaches may be alleviated by chewing on an elder twig and then placing it into the wall while saying, "Depart, thou evil spirit." Toothaches were once thought to be caused by evil spirits. Warts can be cured by rubbing them with a green elder twig and then burying it to rot in the mud. Grown near the home, the elder gives prosperity to the household, and the sticks placed about the house guard against robbers and snakes. Elder is used at weddings to bring good fortune to the couple, and pregnant women kiss the tree for good fortune for the coming baby. Place elderberries beneath your pillow if you have difficulty sleeping. They allow slumber to continue peacefully. Carry elder to preserve you against temptations of adultery. Make flutes from the branches to call forth spirits from their music. Best done at midnight in a deserted place far from the haunts of humans. Many think it dangerous to burn elder wood, and some gypsies strictly forbade its use as a firewood. However, magicians have used its wood in fashioning magical wands for centuries. So there's quite a lot of information already from the Cunningham book, and that's the Cunningham book which is light on information compared to other resources. So then we're going to read from the Compendium of Herbal Magic, which is our second resource point. Elder is a funeral herb, a herb of protection, and a magical herb, invocational to Hild Moer. Lore. Among the herbs with a rich history of lore, the elder stands as the equivalent of a high priestess. There is an extensive material about this familiar shrub. Greaves' entry in a modern herbal runs to 8 columns and is a valued source for many modern herbalists. Along its best known virtues, elder is believed to protect against all evils and dark magic. We find many cultures separated by thousands of miles consistent in this belief. Russian pagans believed elder was effective against evil. In southern Germany, near the Black Forest, elder was used magically to heal. The pagans of Sicily knew elder and used it to protect their homes against theft. The northern pagans of Siberia gave elder at weddings to bless the new couple. For centuries, elder gathered for healing and magic has been harvested on Beltane Eve, the last day of April. Many believe the elder is more powerful the closer to midnight it is harvested. The more practical herbalist is likely to collect elder when the path is fully lit. Elder gathered on this date can increase the spirit of any magical working. The law regarding the harvesting of elder is well documented and affirms the widespread association with the elder's protective spirits, a type of herbal goddess or dryad. In Denmark, she was known as Haud Moer, the elder tree mother. Elder is associated with the Eldritch, both through the history of its names and the association with magic. Grieve writes that its name is derived from the Anglo-Saxon word Eald, in which times it was called Eldrum. Eald means fire and indicates old customs in which hollowed stems were used to fan a coal into a fire. Even today, elder may be associated with the element fire. Elder sticks are easily hollowed, giving them use as panpipes, a use recorded 2,000 years ago by Pliny. Grieve also writes that Pliny documented their use in the manufacture of the sackbut, which she questions due to her belief that the sackbut is a stringed instrument. In truth, the sackbut was a wind instrument, so it appears that the elder lends its magic to the manufacture of wind instruments. The Christianization of pagan Europe changed some of the elder's lore for the dark side. The impossible belief that elder provided the wood for Christ's execution, among other Christian figures, led to its law of association with death and darkness. The folk practices generated by this errant belief, however, provided elder with increased safe space and respect. Superstitious country folk would not cut elder without proper prayers, and for good reason. Grieve writes that gypsies avoided using elder in their campfires. Not all of elder's association with death are born of Christian superstition. Grieve writes that the green elder branches were also buried in a grave to protect the dead from evil spirits, and in some parts it was a custom for the driver of the hearse to carry a whip made of elder wood. There are a number of folk beliefs which maintain elder offers protection against evil. Grave writes that it was often used in making cradles so that babies would be kept safe. If the elder was collected without the proper respect, elder spirits were believed to follow the offender, plaguing the wrongdoer until the error had been rectified with the appropriate honour to Hard Moer. Graves lists elder with the letter R or Rui, the 13th letter of the Ogham tree alphabet. Usage. Modern custom weaves elder's magic into the rites of Midsummer's Eve, a belief dating to the pagan customs of Denmark. An elder grove is considered an ideal location for moving to the realms of the Fae, but for those who desire to see the Devas on this eve, elder flowers can be used in the ritual cup or in the incense. Unfortunate are those who know the blessings of elder wine. This delectable drink may be enjoyed at Beltane. Respect the writings of our elder herbalists. Gather your elder with great care. Of all the herbs, none has such a link with the mother goddess. It is this natural magic which undoubtedly led to its impressive reputation. One of the best protective herbs, it not only protects your home, but all that live within it. Elder has a history of providing safekeeping for elder, as well as protecting pets and livestock. A grove or patch of elder should be treated as holy ground. If the growth is adequately established, it should be left open so one's stock can wander through it at will and blessed. Rural folk are wont to grow elder, for its valued magic permeates all of their land and protection is spread throughout. Elder can protect your home in different ways. You can fashion the thin branches into crosses or pentagrams, hang dried bunches of the berries, or make charms of the leaves. All of these can be hung above doors and windows. Elder may be used in baby blessings, but only if it has been gathered according to tradition. Elder ought to be included in any house or home blessing. The connections elder has with the passing of one's body make it useful in funeral rites of death and dying. Some people make arrangements to have certain possessions burned at the same time their body is cremated. There is no more sacred use for elder than to transport one into the other world. However, long before one is ready to leave this incarnation, it may be used in ritual and magical healing. Elder is associated with 2 cards of the major arcana in tarot. It works with the Empress card and the Moon card. Dried elder flowers are among our favourite fixatives when making loose, dry incense and help to empower our rites. Rites, as in magical rites. Okay. I also want to read, for the sake of the Ogham, a little bit from Glennie Kindred's The Tree Ogham, which I highly recommend that you purchase if you want to work with the Ogham. So, elder in terms of Ogham is a energy of transformation, renewal, regeneration. I have always found the elder to be a very approachable tree, used to a long history of humankind, using its gifts of bark, leaves, flowers and fruits for medicine, jams, drinks, etc. The wood is yellow and has a soft pith running through its centre. Treat the elder with the greatest respect and she will reward you with her blessings and gifts. So there you go. Elder is an interesting energy when it comes to both the magic of the elder tree and the Ogham itself. It has this sort of interesting multi-purpose all-encompassing magic to it, because it has uses in every sense of human existence. It can be used in terms of drinks and food, elderberries being edible, and can be made into jams and so on and so forth. The elderberries, particularly at this time of year, come up quite frequently in terms of making one's own syrups and sort of medicines, and it has an interweaving of medicine into its properties and usage. And then of course it has a spiritual and magical property, both in the Ogham and with magical use to do with spell work. For me, the lesson that Elder throws into sharpest relief is the lesson of communicating and respecting the energies and devas of particular plants and trees, all plants and trees in fact, but it really does bring that to the forefront with how we interact with the spirits of plants, trees, flowers and so forth. Those who follow the path of the witch, of who are involved with any sort of green witchcraft, if you want to label it thus, who work with herbs and flowers and perhaps harvest from the natural world, should have this keen awareness and respect for the energies of plants and trees. And some people know them as devas, some people talk of them as plant spirits, and it's sort of a connecting with the energies of plant spirits and forming bonds and relationships and ties to these life forms that sustain human beings and sustain us in so many different ways. And Elder, of course, being a key example of all the many different ways in which trees help human beings through life, with food, with shelter, with spirituality, with medicine, and so on and so forth. And it spans across time and culture, and even where the actual mythos is coming from. And it's all very much of a muchness. There's a similarity running through all these different viewpoints of interactions with the elder tree itself. And across the board, there is this talk of a deep warning to be respectful of the energies, to do things properly, if you like, to respect, to only harvest what you require, and then to really it's sort of walking your talk. And it's coming into sharp relief that this is a message right now which has been noticeably coming to the fore a lot lately. And I think as we start to move into the elder energies, it's going to become even more prominent. Elder really is about making sure that you are doing what you are saying you are doing, and really respecting the traditions of the witch and the plants, but walking your truth and making sure that you align to your highest truth and your highest good, if you like, being the best version of you that you can be, and not only saying it but doing it as well, and all the things that entails. Elder is a connection to the Great Mother, the goddess energy. It is even known in places as the goddess tree, and I think it really harnesses not only goddess energy but our relationship to Mother Earth and our respect for nature and the world around us. And this is something that becomes more and more and more important in a world that becomes less and less attached to the natural world. There is a disconnect in modern society that cannot stand if the planet is to live. And for me, it's not true of all witches, and I understand that, but for me, the natural world is a huge part of my witchcraft practice. I enjoy walking amongst the hedgerows, and I have said before, and I will say again, that I think that God or goddess or universal energy or source, or however you so wish to label it, is nowhere more present than in trees. And I think there is something deeply profound and soul changing about trees. It's just so deeply rooted into our consciousness as human beings. They are the breath, the lungs that keep us breathing on this planet, and they are old, and there is an energy to them and a wisdom to them that people have forgotten, or a lot of that information has been lost. And even to this day, I look at trees and I think there is so much going on that I have absolutely no idea. You know, there is so much within trees that I'm sorry, I just got completely distracted by the fact there is a crow in the tree outside there, and I'm wondering if they've nested. Hang on, let's see if we can capture him on camera. Hang on. Is he moving about? Little black shape there moving about. Sorry, completely and utterly irrelevant to the video, but completely distracted me. There you go, that's nature for you. I wonder if they're having babies right outside my window. Wow. I'd be surprised, it's an odd time of year. Right, anyway. So I was saying, yes, okay, and so there is a sort of deep magic that really resides and resounds within trees. And even now, even to this day, I sometimes just get sort of awestruck by trees, and I will listen to them and go and speak with them and ground with them, and I will watch them moving in the wind and think there's just something ethereal and yet earth based about trees, and it's just something that you can't quite ever fully comprehend. And usually I don't even try, and I let that energy flow through me and just try and be appreciative. And that appreciation is something which I think gets lost in modern times. We live in times of, you know, the internet and cement and cables and electricity and pollution and all the rest of it. We are fortunately struggling against this in some ways, that there is a more of a green consciousness at work, particularly in the pagan community, but in general as well, to try and stop the idea of the earth being disposable. And I think this is a great lesson of the elder tree. The elder tree is sort of the mother goddess energy that really calls to us to be mother-like in our relationship to the planet, and try and be protective and loving and strong in the face of a disposable culture, which everything is, you know, a throwaway. Very, very much so. An elder provides on many, many levels, as we've discussed, and it's not just sort of one use and throw away, because each element of the tree has its own magic, has its own purpose, has all sorts of purposes, be it its bark, its leaves, or its berries. I do have some elder bark here, by the way, but I ran out of little bowls, so if you're wondering about what elder bark looks like, there you go. I should just pop that on in there. Okay. And you can see it even in like the products that you purchase. It's I've noticed that things that like my grandmother's had, they still work, and they were built to last. Even in things like, you know, electronics or kitchen appliances or stationary appliances and things like that, they used to be built to last and last and last, and obviously there was no profit in that, and now things are built to break, so you need to replace them. It's kind of sad, really, but it's just one symptom of living in a disposable culture. And Elder really speaks out against that. It's like we as witches, we as women, we as men, we as human beings need to transform, and we really need to take care of the planet and of one another. And Elder does that, and it has that mother energy. It's like, I've been looking after you for hundreds and thousands of years. Here is the proof in your history books. Here is all the things that I have given to you. You need to be giving back and be respectful. And how much you can do that depends on your circumstances, but all of us can show a deep reverence and a deep respect for the world around us, and this being, I think, one of the huge lessons of Elder. Elder is also sometimes, even in modern practice that I've seen, one of the trees that gets demonized because it is associated with the energies of death. And because it is, and some people decide then it becomes a dark goddess tree rather than a mother goddess tree, as if the two are completely separate and not interchangeable. It's an oddness to me which doesn't make sense. It's need to categorize and separate and create a fear around things such as trees, for goodness sake. And because it has this use in burial rites and barrows, and there is this great big fear of death energies. And to me, it's never made huge amounts of sense. Death is never something that I have been afraid of. It, to me, is just a state of being. It's just another door that we all walk through, and I'm just firm in my belief in reincarnation as well, and death just being a natural and necessary part of life, and something that moves us on. And Elder to that energy really sort of makes us look at who we are as people, and it's like, right, well, we're coming into this time of year, and I've been talking about this a lot recently, but we're coming into the time of year where we basically are almost upon the new beginning, rebirth energy, but not quite. So it's looking at aspects within ourselves which need to die, and things that we need to not permit in ourselves anymore. And this can be on an emotional level, this can be on a spiritual level, this can be on a physical level, this can be on all levels. And it's a really difficult process of transformation, and deciding which part of ourselves we need to trim, we need to prune, we need to work on, we need to do the hard work and cut it out of ourselves and stop it and take responsibility for ourselves. And there is an energy around at the minute as well, which I think ties into this, which is to do with the responsibility for our reactions and our expectations of other people, and expecting too much of other people's behaviours and reactions, as if obligated to behave or react in such a way to us, rather than to understand that we're all human beings, we're all fallible, we all make mistakes, we all have the emotional responses, some good, some not so good, depending on what's going on in the personal psyche of the individual. And we tend to sort of disregard what other people are going through. We only sort of judge on a sort of shallow level, about seeing at the very, very top, and then making a value judgment and then being dismissive. And I think Elder really sort of brings in the lesson of, you know, this is not the sort of behaviour which helps to a healthy ecosystem within community, within psyche, and within ourselves as human beings. Elder pulls everything together and has this huge value, this huge worth, and is unapologetic in its bounty and its worth and its creation. and it gives and gives and gives and gives. And it also takes away, because it also has the death energy. So it also sort of shows us the balance of life and death in cycles within one energy of one tree. And I think perhaps it's the Virgo in me, but I quite frequently think that it's better to think of how I can be of use rather than how people can be of use to me. And it's not a perfect process by any means, because this is something that I work on, and work on my reactions to certain things and certain situations and people and so on and so forth. But I think it is better to think of ourselves as, how can I be of use to the world? How can I be of use to my community? How can I best serve the higher good of myself without it becoming this selfish, egotistical thing? And I think we live in an era where we are taught to value the material gain, the buck, the almighty dollar, the pound signs in the eyes, however you want to see it, and all the material gains that go with it. And it can be a quite liberating thing when you really start to muse over which things you value and which things society's told you should value, and making your own mind up. This is not to be one of these videos where it's saying, you know, that you reject all material possessions, because I'm against the idea that material is completely against the idea of spirituality. I think it's a dangerous sort of tip of the scales too far in one direction, to be like, you don't need anything, and you don't need shelter, and you don't need a roof over your head. And I don't believe in that one bit, and I enjoy working with tools as part of my witchcraft. So I'm not going to sit here and hypocritically tell you that you know, materialism in its entirety is this negative thing, which I think tends to be a trend in spiritual videos, which I don't agree with. You know, people enjoy working with different aspects of material things that you can classify as a material good. You know, people who work in the realm of tarot and oracle cards, they may enjoy collecting tarot and oracle cards. When I enjoy books a great deal, I have quite a lot of books, and I wouldn't consider that to be a materialistic excess when I buy new books, because it's basically expanding my knowledge, giving me in-depth sort of something to research, a place to grow, expand my mind, keep sharp, and that's something that I enjoy. And it's finding and seeking that balance within the cycles that ties back to this energy of elder. It's about transforming who you are and utilising the world around you in order to transform who you are. So elder sort of is like, I provide with all these gifts and you utilise them in X, Y and Z way to transform yourself for the better. So you may be using elderberries and syrup, and that may be improving your health. You may be using the bark for a magical wand, and that might be improving your ritual space. You might be utilising the leaves, that might be protecting your home and improving your magical experience. And therefore you are taking the bounty of earth, you are being grateful for that bounty, you are treating it with reverence and honour and sacredness, and you are harvesting appropriately, which is a big lesson of the elder tree. And then you are taking it into yourself to make sure that you are a better version of you tomorrow than you are today, and a better version today than you were yesterday. And it's just an ongoing journey or cycle that just doesn't stop, or should not stop, as long as you are practicing witchcraft. The final lesson that I think is quite potent to do with elder is the energy of releasing and letting go. And with it having a death aspect, this is sort of implicit in death energies, in death aspects, that it becomes a energy which is associated with the release and letting go, which we've discussed, but we will fine-tune hopefully that idea a little bit more as this last point. it comes into the aspect of what people are afraid of. People are afraid to let go and let things be released and end. And it's a natural sort of human fear of change, I think. And I am a Virgo, as I said, so I'm a little bit anti-change anyway. I'm not good with too much change all in one go. Earth signs, we do like to we do like things to not be too mutable. Or maybe it's just me, I don't know. But I think a certain amount of release and allowing things to die off is healthy, because clinging onto things allows certain things to fester. So it's basically about drawing the poison out. It's about allowing that sort of ick that is inside yourself to be released, to cut it. It's like a little bit like the releasing of the sap of the elder. You nick the elder and it bleeds red, and so you would be nicking yourself, not actually, but in a sort of metaphor sense, and allowing the poison to be leached out. And with elder being so deeply healing, it's a really wonderful energy that you can use to release and heal the wounds of the past. And we'll have a look at least one form of magic for this week's Working Witch, which I will do. I'm going to get that video done as well this week and make sure that they're both done. So, because I know it has been a little while, and like I said, dealing with my own cycles and healing. So it's appropriate and going on in my life as well as being talked about. So I think that is an important thing to sort of state and mention as we go forth. Okay, so that is it for this week's Working Witch about the energies of Elder. I hope you enjoyed this video, and many blessings.